All right, welcome everybody again. Grateful believer in Jesus Christ, and my name is Mike. So I have up on the screen here. We've all seen this before. If you're part of Living Faith Church, we've been spending a lot of time in this lately. But we're talking about the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom and power and glory forever. Amen. And that's how a lot of people read that. They don't really know what it's about. You know, one of the things that always gets me is going to the secular places like AA and NA. They all stand in a circle and say this prayer, but none of them, a lot of them don't even know who their higher power is, and if they do, a lot of them, it's not Jesus Christ. So, that's kind of what I'm gonna, talk about here. We recite this a lot of times like we're reading it off the back of a cereal box, and, to some, maybe that's all it is, but there's so much more to it. For people in Recovery Alive, we don't do it just because it's a tradition, like maybe some other places. We do it because we want transformation from it. So some of us are, crushed under weights you choose because you just wanted the pain to stop. All of us are struggling with blinders, the pride and the lies that tells us that we don't have to be the director of our own lives. This prayer, the Lord's Prayer, is actually a roadmap for the 12 steps of recovery. Move this over a little bit here. I think I'm just a little bit off the camera. All right, so as I was saying, the Lord's Prayer is actually a roadmap for those of us in recovery. You can see the 12 steps, wound all through this. So I'm going to break it down a little bit, and like I said, they've been talking about it here at church, breaking it down verse by verse. But maybe some people in recovery, like myself, I'm going to try to break it down into a way that might make a little more sense to some, and how the steps play a part in this. So we're going to start with Our Father. This is where we're working steps 1 and 2. Admitting we are broken, looking to a Father who finally makes us feel safe. When we say, Thy will be done, we're executing step 3 and handing the script of our lives back to the author. As we go through this handout tonight, I want you to look at yourself in these lines. Don't just say the words. Use them to peel off the labels of shame. Use them to drop rocks of resentment that you've been carrying. We're going to walk through this together, not as orphans, but as children of the Father, who has already provided the daily bread we need to make it to midnight. So let's get real, let's get free, and let's do the work. So the 3 things, you might hear me say throughout this, I'm just going to give a quick little, short definition of them. First thing's the scars. Those are the wounds you didn't ask for, the trauma and the betrayals that left marks you still carry. The weights, the solutions that became problems, the substances or behaviors you picked up to numb the pain that now crush you. And the blinders, the mental scaffolding, the pride, perfectionism, and codependency that keep us from seeing the truth. So, Our Father who art in heaven, steps 1 and 2. Isolation is the greenhouse of addiction. When we're carrying our weights, we believe the lie we are alone. The word "are" is the first brick thrown through the window of that isolation. It forces us to acknowledge a person to the left and to the right of us. Step 1 is admitting our lives is unmanageable. Step 2 is looking up. If your earthly father was a source of scars, father might feel like a threat. But here we meet the Father who doesn't have to leave. We trade our orphan spirit, the need to protect ourselves at all costs, for a child spirit. If you can't rely on him for 5 minutes, those are your blinders talking. Next part I'm going to talk about is hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. The step 3. This is the hardest work you'll ever do. A blinder is almost always an attempt to force your will on reality. Step 3 is a decision to hand the script back to the author. Imagine your life is a movie and you've been trying to write, produce, and star in, and it's a disaster. Surrendering is saying, you write the next scene. For the scar, this means I stop seeking revenge. For the weight, this means I stop trying to manage my use and admit I am powerless. The next part is give us this day our daily bread. This is step 11. The addict brain wants a guarantee for next year, but God only deals in the currency of today. This is step 11 in action, improving our conscious contact with him one day at a time. If you're struggling with a weight, the forever thought is a trap. Can you stay clean for the next 10 minutes? Yes, God's grace has an expiration date, midnight. You get a fresh batch tomorrow. Don't let tomorrow's worry make today's bread moldy.
Yep.
And forgive us our trespasses. This is steps 4, 5, 6, and 7. A trespass is a boundary crossing against others and against our own bodies. In steps 4 through 7, we take fearless inventory of our weights and blinders. Shame is the blinder that says, I am a bad thing. Forgiveness is a process of peeling that label off your forehead. You can't be free from a debt you won't acknowledge you owe. We ask him to remove our defects because we finally realize we can't carry them anymore. As we forgive those who trespass against us. Steps 8 and 9. This is the most dangerous line in the prayer. If you're holding on to a scar, you're carrying a dead body around. The person who hurt you has moved on, but you are still in the cage with the memory. Steps 8 and 9 are about making amends and dropping the rock. Forgiveness isn't a feeling. It is a legal decision to release a prisoner, only to realize the prisoner was you. If you hold a grudge while saying this, you are asking God not to forgive you. Drop the rock. Your hands are too tired to keep carrying it. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Step 10. This is your relapse prevention strategy. Step 10 is a daily maintenance of our recovery. We often think we're stronger than we are. Lead us not into temptation is a prayer of a healthy cowardice. If saying, God, don't even let me get near the edge, when the weight calls your name, or the blinders of depression start to close in, this is your emergency flare. Deliver me. I can't walk out of this room on my own. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Step 12. We end by stripping ourselves of the credit. Step 12 is about the spiritual awakening that allows us to carry the message. If I am 24 hours sober, it is not my kingdom. If I finally forgave that scar, it wasn't my power. If I have dropped a 20-year weight, that glory isn't mine. This protects us from the blinder of pride. We stay in a state of blessed dependence so we can reach back and pull the next person into the circle. So I'm going to have Kevin and Emily both, if you could repost the link into the Facebook chat feed here. We're going to be, you got it, Kevin, or you need me to post it again?
It's there.
It's in there. All right, if you have any trouble finding the link for the men's or women's group, send a message to me or Emily. We're going to go into separate discussions on this. We're going to talk about three different questions. Before we do that, though, we're going to close with the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as the pathway to peace, taking as he did the sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that he will make all things right if I surrender to his will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with him forever and ever in the next. Amen. All right, so like I said, there's separate men and women groups for the discussion. I haven't seen any of the invites on the men's side yet. I just want to make sure everything works here before I